Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very dark. Hold on. All right, should be better. Forgot to turn on my lamp, but I did not forget to tell you about Project Hydra. In fact, I will tell you about Project Hydra for about 2 hours or so, maybe a bit longer. So we didn't actually do any other polls, and I do want to do a little bit of like unit concepts and stuff today, in addition to working on the campaign. So our initial section here will probably refer to that. I thought I was going to do that in the previous stream in the morning. Didn't end up doing that, so we're going to do it here. What's up, Viker? Vik and I were talking for a while about some engine plans and some other new features. Pretty exciting stuff. I'll just use this opportunity to blab about that, I suppose. I have a plan. I have come up with the idea for, like, basically Vik was suggesting building the editor out inside the game's exe, basically. So the idea is that you would essentially run maybe like a shortcut that has a editor launch option or something, and it would just launch the editor instead of the game. But, well, you would have to launch the game and then launch the editor within that, but it wouldn't result in like any lag time really, because ideally our game would start up incredibly fast. So anyway, the long and short of it is what that will allow us to do is have synchronous editing. So it's like Google Docs or whatever, but for a map. It'll allow you to have real-time editing, so people can be playing the game as you change things in the map. You decide if you want it to like automatically push every change, so it would really be real-time, or instanced, where it's like you say you paint an area of terrain and then hit save, or like push, I guess would probably be it, and then suddenly it updates in real time. It would be pretty funny because you could like prank people, so they could like be moving an army outside the map, and then you just like put like water all around them, and they start decolliding in water infinitely. Would be pretty good. But anyway, like, you could do some crazy shit with that, obviously. You'd be able to give people editor privileges within the map, so multiple players in the map could also open the map in the editor. Or, yeah, like while they're doing that, and essentially have that as like a separate instance almost, where you'd be able to put that on your other monitor or resize it or anything like that. So, yeah. We've got some ideas. Let's just say we're going to redefine how people actually work on maps and all that shit when we're actually have our own engine. But that's enough of a conceptual sneak peek for now, we'll say. Jumping into the planning and whatnot, my main thing is I would like to rename some stuff. Obviously, I would like to rename, for the units that are left, it's just Zergling, Broodling, and Broodlisk. After that, for buildings, we've got Command Center, Refinery, Supply Depot, Engineering Bay, Science Facility. All of these names are pretty generic and don't really offer much. For Protoss, we've got Shield Battery, Cybernetics Core, Robotics Facility, Robotics Authority, Fleet Beacon. I feel like all of these are pretty generic. And then for Zerg buildings, it's Extractor and Lair, as well as Spawning Pool. Although I have a feeling it'll just be whatever Zergling is renamed to. It'll be like the prefix of that appended to pool. Similar to the other names, right? Like Vorval Pond, for example. We also have the Zerg name generator. So Vik is apparently on that one. Once we have extended buttons, which seems to be on the cards for a little bit later on, sometime in March maybe, the goal will be to add some larval morphs. For example, the Gorger Core will probably become a larval morph, and then we'll have another mutamorph. So I guess I'll just quickly jump over to the tech trees. So the Gorger Core will come out from the larva instead of from the Mutalisk. And the Mutalisk will still morph directly into the Vithrilisk, or it will morph into another morph. Like, it'll have two morphs still. The Gorger Core will still morph into the Gazithalor, formerly Guardian. Vithrilisk is formerly Devourer as well, if anybody missed that. And I think we'll probably do some stuff that's like a second morph for the Gorger Core. I don't really know what it will be, but we'll figure that out later. Obviously, we do have that asset from Five Nations that might help us out here. If I jump into the convert folder, I should be able to find it. There's what I've taken to calling the Greater Gorgoloth because it seems like that's basically what it is. So if we find a good frame. Be a bit of a crapshoot finding it. Oh, here we go. You can kind of see it's very clearly an upgraded version of that. I think it does look distinct enough in theory because it has like the tusks and the extra bits of armor and it's just slightly larger. We might want to actually increase the size even more though, by like maybe like 12.5% or a really small amount, just so that like overall it takes up more space and it's immediately visible as like a distinct unit, just from like afar. So I wouldn't mind throwing that in there. That would be like just a really bulky, pretty powerful unit in that respect. Oh. Okay. So yeah, I guess conceptually we can throw that in there, right? So we'll say you know what would be really next level is if when you mouse over one of these, it plays an idle animation or something. Like you mouse over the Gorger core, and it has a CMD icon animation of the attack animation or something. That would be really over engineered, I guess, but might look epic. It might. Okay. There's a process for turning a gas to a solid, and I think it's called like sublimation or something. Oh, gas to solid is deposition. What is sublimation? Oh, solid to gas. Okay. Interesting. Deposition sounds worse, to be honest. was thinking something working sublimation into the extractor name or something. But obviously, if it's solid to gas, it's the inverse of what we need. Maybe there's like an obvious synonym for refinery that I'm not considering. I kind of like clarifier, but like in terms of what it sounds, obviously it's not great. Oh, filter might work. I kind of like sieve as well. All right, maybe we're starting to build something here. What else do we got? So we have sieve as our first. And then filter was my only other immediate idea, but I will find what I need on page 3. I was thinking maybe something like dam. I also kind of like the idea of well. That kind of looks. Ooh, reservoir maybe, or fountainhead. Oh, maybe Protoss gas structures could be like fountainhead or fountain or something, or reservoir. A reservoir might be fine for Terrans as well, but I like the idea that it's more sophisticated. That they look like it like as a font, of power. You know what I mean? Like that. They're even what do you call it? Not really religious or whatever, but respectful and sophisticated. Yeah, so I'm thinking reservoir is probably fine. Hello, Loler. You want to know what's up? I'm renaming the some buildings. Right now I'm looking for refinery and assimilator and extractor names. I guess wellspring might work, but it feels a little like just two unrelated words, to be honest. The aquifer. Oh, Aquifer, Terran Aquifer might actually be really nice, to be honest. Although maybe Protoss Aquifer sounds better. I don't know. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think Protoss Aquifer sounds better, to be perfectly honest. We'll say Reservoir for Terrans. I will just say Sieve. Of usually reservoirs are used in like, what do you call it? The context of being surrounded by, like, fenced in and stuff, you know what I mean? So there's usually something related to the I don't know. I'm not even sure how to describe what with any words, let alone something that is snappy as a description here, but it's like I think of reservoirs as when there's some sort of industrial presence surrounding them and they are used for some sort of purpose for civilization. Um, Usually artificially. So let's just say industrially augmented. Yeah, maybe sieve is not really that great. The more I think about it, it felt a little bit better when I was presenting it as Vespine sieve, but even then, it's not that great, to be honest. Maybe we'll go back to this and we'll say, if we go to sieve, maybe we can find like filter. Obviously, filter is pretty ho-hum, so we can't really use that. Oh, is there like is that used in programming or something? Sublimate. It's funny that sublimation is the opposite. It's solid to gas, but sublimate apparently means to purify. So my initial instinct to call something about uh like refinery sublimate is it's actually on point. But obviously there's not like what are you gonna call that really? Eratosthenes. I don't know, man. A lot of this shit is pretty, shall we say, lame, to be honest. So I have reservoir. That's a good one. Commencement. There's got to be some term for like when the military, or not even really military necessarily, just like an oil reservoir or something. Like what are those called when there's like oil mining? Just search that. Oh, actually, there's hydrogen mining. There's a hydrogen mining thing here somewhere. Steam reforming. Don't see anything right now as far as the facilities where these are put together. That's kind of the other issue as well, isn't it? Because facility is such like a boring well, facility is definitely not what I thought it meant according to thesaurus. That's pretty good. Structure. Yeah, it's like what do you actually call this shit? There's like power plant, for example, which is obviously super basic. So thermolysis apparently is used for chemical decomposition to actually get something related to this hydrogen shit. So based on that alone, I can probably do something like that. Oh yeah, it's to get it from water, I guess. Well, geyser, because it's geyser, I would expect that there's actually not really gas there as much as there is liquid, and it's turned into a gas. So maybe sublimation actually makes a bit more sense, even though that's from solid to gas. So, I guess I didn't really think about that, did I? It apparently needs to be a gas. Not that it really matters, but I would just prefer to not have something really stupid there. That sounds too wordy, though. So we can't realistically do that either, can we? Can't believe I have to read Wikipedia stuff. Jesus. Oh, I forgot to put HYDRA info. Oops. It's okay, I can just delete it. Well, that only took 8 years. Ejuf Toil. Wait, Ejuf 2. It's just Ultralisk with fucking spam in front of it. What have you done? Alright. Oops. I don't know if I like Wellspring much, to be honest, but... I kind of want to make a poll that's like, should I be absolutely goofy about everything that I do with the Zerg building names so that they match the Zerg unit names? Or should I keep the Zerg building names grounded and see what people say? So yeah, I don't really like Wellspring. Not really my favorite, to be honest. Okay. There you go. We put our 2 poles in. I guess I'll throw a third one in that I was just talking about doing. There you go. Easy. Easy 3 pole. Okay. Now we've done that, I can probably close this out. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about the factions that we have planned in our setting here, and how that would lead to really interesting unit concepts. And I have otherwise been feeling a little bit like maybe worse for wear in terms of unit concepts. Like nothing has immediately struck out to me. And I think a large portion of that is due to the lack of assets, generally speaking. Like we just don't have good assets right now. And I'm wondering if maybe I just sort of let my imagination run wild and not worry about too many of the like asset requirements or whatever. Checking the files now. Still nothing, to be honest. Never is anything. Oh yeah, I was gonna check something as well. Of course, Firefox is installing updates. You actually. Oh, I'm out of water. Fuck. Anyway, yeah, I was thinking about how I might have some factions sort of especially for Protoss, but just in general, I imagine there would be technology that would be sourced from certain factions, and that technology would then be utilized in later stage things, if that makes any sense. Like, it would be adopted perhaps by all factions just because it was so useful. That must be how a lot of the code or a lot of the unit ideas and stuff that they have already came from, right? Like, somebody probably invented the penumbra, for example, and then like it just, somebody, like, the plans get stolen or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably how it happened for a lot of the stuff that we already have. Nope, they're still there. It's literally the second faction. Goofball. But yeah, I was thinking that maybe we would have some stuff that just works really well, and then maybe I can start to tie back certain unit ideas or whatever. There are also just some really cool graphics that were made at various stages of Brood War's lifespan that I haven't personally had much of a reason to mess around with in a while. So, for example, there's like... Let's go to resources here. There's the ever epic salvaged Dragoon. If I can find that. Which is pretty epic. It does look pretty similar to a regular Dragoon. Like, I don't know if I would like to put this next to a regular Dragoon and have it be like, I don't know how good readability would be. Maybe it would be all right. And we could probably reskin the yellow parts to be like teal gray or something, or whatever. So it's probably still salvageable. No pun intended. But that could be really epic as like an aspirant unit, right? Like, the aspirants come in and they're like, surely there's a reason for the Protoss to use these so frequently. We must get something out of them, I think that could be really cool. I actually used that first in Crap Council. Yeah, I definitely did say that, and nothing I just said has anything to do with them being faction specific. Yeah, goofball. I was just saying, all units at one point were probably faction specific, and over time, historically, they were adopted by most, if not all, groups of all of the factions that are currently active in battle, and like, they all downloaded the plans of the Terran tech, and the Zerg evolutions were shared, and all this other shit, right? And the Protoss would be like, the roboticists would be the only ones to use robotic units in the first place for warfare's sake, generally speaking, unless things were really dire. And then so they would be like, oh, let's push the envelope with this stuff. And then gradually over time, they became more common because they were just used more. So it's like, originally, maybe 100 years ago in our setting, the Centaur was invented by one faction and used by one faction for a couple of years, if that, before being, like, the plans were stolen or shared or whatever, and more factions began using the Centaur because it was effective. So at some point it was faction specific, and then it became more generic. So my thought is the aspirants figure out a way to salvage the Dragoons using that kind of graphic, right? And so they have their own version of the Drakadin now, according to our naming conventions, and they deploy it, and then maybe that plan gets proliferated throughout the various facilities that the Terrans use. So certain Terran factions will actually deploy this sort of like stolen technology, if you will, something like that. So that could be like, what I'm saying is I can use the existing factions as backstory or a backdrop for the development of a unit idea, a unit concept, hooking it into it originally came from this faction. Like, originally the Shaman was from the Umojans, I believe. And while the Cyprian is Sons of Korhal, and there was like one other unit that I had a fantasy for. I think the Madcap was a Confederate type thing. The Savant was a Confederate type thing, or maybe a Umojan type thing. Stuff like that. But eventually, just because they were so useful, the other factions adopted them and began to use them, and that's why they're a generic unit instead of being a faction-specific unit. So it's literally just using the setting that we have to world build new concepts into play and attaching them to that thematically, so to speak. Where we were already kind of doing that with the robotics faction, because I already knew that there would be a faction of Protoss. Before I even started working on this campaign, I had envisioned a faction of Protoss that would dedicate most of their time to the robotics branch and do so because they were low in number or something. Whereas the mainstream Protoss faction doesn't really have an interest in that by the same degree, right? So yeah, that's more or less what I was going after there. Like the Salamander is probably like some high-tech faction stuff, right? And then eventually it just gets proliferated. So that's like a pretty easy thing to look at, generally speaking, I think. It does make sense to have faction-specific units, and I would love to have faction-specific units, but we have limited unit IDs, so I can't have faction-specific units to the degree that I would want to have faction-specific units. And I also don't really have good mechanics for allowing, at least not until we have extended button sets or whatever, I don't really have good mechanics for allowing, like, you to secure the allegiance of a faction or something like that. Hey, you just start losing allies, basically. Could happen. So yeah, stuff like that I think makes sense. Oh yeah, that's not, I wanted to go into the test map for a specific reason. I'm pretty sure we're at capacity for Mason advanced structure button. Oh, we actually have one. I could see a world where I fill in this button with like a scrapyard or something. And the scrapyard like deploys technology that is well, scrappy, I guess. Why would we rename the races exactly? The races will be completely different in the new game, so I'm not really worried about that. Like they aren't even. You'll have like vague allusions or whatever, or connections you can make, but I'm not gonna bother salvaging anything I've written here. Like some factions will probably still have, like you'll probably still have like a faction that loves this alien or whatever, but or this alien race, I should say. You'll probably still have stuff like that, but you're not gonna have much else really. I don't think. Like again, this rewrite is just because I need to achieve these goals for a campaign series within Brood War. I don't need, like, none of these are. I mean, I guess I can do the same. I have the same goals going into a new engine or a new like say the new engine's done and ready for content development. Okay, now I can develop the setting. That doesn't really mean much though, because I have complete creative control at that point. The only thing that we might use the Starcraft stuff for is like the assets from certain things or whatever. Like that might have something to do with it. I don't know. But... I am looking forward to getting the new stuff in eventually, that's for sure. I don't think we'll have polls to the same degree when we're doing the new stuff, because I do have like that full creative control. So, wow, Pyrolight's actually winning. I know it's early days, but still, it's pretty cool. I also like how make them impossibly arcane is winning. This makes me very happy. Looking forward to Extractor being renamed into Vespilifetheth. You. No, it'll definitely have its place, Feek. I'll say that much. I mean, we get the Zergir command on Todd eventually, right? Trying to fit 3 hair ties in one spot. It's not. This might be autism. It's not quite working right now. That's because you're epic. You. Did I do it? Oh, fuck. It's fucked. Wait. Wait. Fuck. Almost. God damn it. It's all a disaster. Alright, let's put... Maybe I just need to stretch one of them out so that it can better fit. Try that. Fuck. Well, I can't do that. Giving up. The face of adversity. All right. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I was looking at polls. And then I was working on my setting. Don't you enjoy that all of my polls are forever destroying you, Veek? That's the Hierophant right there, man. Terran droid. I mean, I guess this is like an okay graphic. It's not rendered correctly, so never mind. It's actually terrible. Nah, never mind. These guys have a gunshot animation. It's pretty epic. That's not rendered correctly. It's also terrible. Jesus. What does this world come to? Mineral mine! Not even animated, of course. Forgot about that one. Jesus. Power up Dragoon. What is this? Oh, oh! Did you like that one? Oh! Psychosis. Space Squid. I guess we could look through Diablo 2 asset rips if there are any asset dumps out there. Reasonable. Ghost Zergling, by the way. Does it even have an animation? Pretty good. Oh yeah, the Colossus graphic. Oh wait, no, this isn't it. What the fuck? Bengalos Rider! That is a pretty good one. That is map crap, probably. Yeah, I still haven't done those. Thanks for reminding me. No, the Colossus is like, there is a Colossus somewhere. What is this? Oh. Apparently it's just a turret from Command & Conquer. It's kind of cool. It would be nice if the animation was team colored, probably. What is this? Oh shit, look at this man. Ah! That's a goofy man. Dimension Dominator, by the way. DD. And he just has the Marine Death animation. This is a lunatic graphic that I had to try to manually fix the walk cycle for a while back. It's kind of a neat idea, I guess, but... Had to fix the Jackal as well. Oh yeah, I had to fix this one. It's pretty ugly, to be honest. This is the Penumbra Omnicrid, by the way. Something. Oh shit. Starcraft 2 Templar. I don't actually know what the fuck is going on with that one. Where is my Colossus graphic anyway? What is this? I don't know what this is. Some particle from Mesk, I think. Omega. Hell yeah. Anime. Jesus. Devastator. Deviator. Free. These appear to have a fucked palette, and they're also tiny. Oh, I actually already have it in here, so I guess I'll just delete it. It is pretty psychotic. Well, I guess I can put this into packages. Yeah, I don't really have anything that I would want to use, to be honest, aside from that salvaged Dragoon graphic. I found some models for free that I downloaded and sent to Balethal, but obviously it takes time to port those correctly to this environment. What does that mean, no YouTube stream? Oh, it's probably unlisted. Destroyed. Just fix that real quick. YouTube resets my metadata between streams and doesn't save it when I fix it after that. So. I guess I just lucked out because Veek was like, hey, I'll watch on Twitch. That's pretty funny. Okay, so what do we got here? I guess we could start to work on names for these guys. Fire up ye old ship program. So the Sumerian actually is a reference to history. We look up Sumerian. It also means perpetually dark, but I'll just have to hope people look at it like that instead of looking at it like the historical slash mythological connection, obviously, because otherwise it's a bit of a prank. Also, I don't actually know if the stream was fixed on YouTube. So probably isn't. I guess I can just test that out real quick. What's the link? See Bruno go live. See me live. Oh no, it is. It works. Okay. It's the perfect time to Well, one of those was me. I'm not actually sure who else would have done it. I think maybe UED Commander said it might be useful, so maybe he was responsible for that. And then I shilled it on a stream, so you got a couple of people who saw that. All right. I just got a text from my I got a text from my brother a while ago, but I just read the text from my brother that said there's a dog at my door asking for pizza. That is psychotic, to be honest. I was thinking maybe we could call the cultists the Nidus Order. I wouldn't want to call them the cult, obviously. Like, they can't refer to themselves as the cult. That's a little too on the nose, right? Because cult has a bunch of like negative connotations. They wouldn't really think of themselves as a cult. But at the same time, I wonder if they wouldn't have some sort of like cloak word or something. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of them being referred to as like taking some term that would probably not mean anything to the average Terran, but is actually the name of like something from the what do you call it? It's like the name of a Zerg technology. In this case, the Nidus Canal. I kind of like the idea of that being their linchpin, and it's like that they were given that name by virtue of presenting with the how would you even go about describing it? It's like maybe like their leader communicated with a Cerebred and somehow during sort of divined the information. I don't really have a good name for the what do you call it? The technocrats yet. I'm looking up names of constellations. Because I think that'll be helpful for the faction name that I'm trying to come up with right now. Let's pull up my name list. Oh yeah, what was that word anyway? Oh, okay. Yeah, I really only have the technocrats to name now. Everybody else has got one, which is pretty nice. You're an onion. It's not even pronounced Orion. It's Orion, which translates to hunter, which is pretty fitting, to be honest. But it's also a constellation, so it's got that space context. Sup? The Three Lethal's Cocaine Fury? Yeah, Nidus Threnody. Glad you caught that one. What's kind of nice about being able to call these guys the Hekaton Coalition is that Hekaton has a connection where it means something to the effect of like 100 islands or 100 whatever. So there's the implication that there's like maybe not exactly 100, but so many that they felt compelled to say this is how many are in our coalition, and now they're just fucked, right? Like they've got destroyed by Zerg. So I almost don't even need to justify the name that much, but it gives me some like enough of a background to get you some idea of what's going on there, right? And obviously naming the one that's the expansionists being called the something Imperium, just having Imperium in the name is pretty obvious. Golden Republic is a little bit different. I might even change Republic out for something else. I just like the idea of having them be golden because that's like, you know, obviously implying it's something to do with the like Protoss technology having that golden element to it, that aesthetic, shall we say. And then of course you've got the Nidus Trinity, which I think it just sounds cool, to be honest. But obviously Nidus is in there. I would say, based around the fact that these guys are supposed to be almost like a religious cult, Trinity makes perfect sense there. There's like that, obviously, the Holy Trinity from Judeo-Christian circles. That's not exactly borrowed from, but that it makes sense in the context of. So. But I'm not sure how you would talk about, like, otherwise how you would talk about I guess you could say something to the effect of ecclesiarchy or whatever if you wanted to talk about like or theocracy perhaps. Um but that's a little too obviously religious. Whereas what I'm going for is more like undertones of religiosity, which is where Trinity is like pretty good. I don't really know what else you would call it for like the golden X. I don't know. I don't know what you solved to create something that fits the bill and is also X there. So. So yeah, we need to maybe iterate on the Golden Republic, but also figure out what we're calling the technocrats. I was trying to play around with the idea of like futurists and the singularity, as it's referred to with regards to ever increasing innovation. Maybe something related to engineering or engineers. I can't believe Iquare Thalor was almost a thing. That's really funny. Hello, James. Welcome to my concept stream. Still don't really know what to call these guys, to be honest. The Union of Progress. I don't mind that, actually. Something like Union. Although that does sound a little bit more Protoss-y, whereas I'm, in theory, keeping a lot of the Terran names a bit more conventional, I guess. Like, we have Republic, so I could still throw in Federation or whatever. That obviously has implications for what those words actually mean, because I don't want to be like Blizzard, where I just name my shit whatever. I actually played SPV3. I didn't know they were making additional versions of it. I guess stuff like that's just never done, right? I played the first mission of it. I could probably run that though. Like I see why not. I don't see why not. That's basically like what HYDRA is for Halo, as far as I understand. They probably have a ton of fucking gimmicks in there, like Halo has. But as I understand, it is actually meant to be a complete overhaul of the original campaign, complete with like longer levels, more enemy types, more weapon types, better AI in theory, maybe, hopefully. So yeah, I would be down to check it out. I should probably run the original Halo games before I do that, but I actually started a playthrough of it a long time ago, and I think I only did one or two segments, if I'm not mistaken. And this was many years ago, so I don't actually know. If I go to maybe my playlists, I should be able to find it. Jesus. Yep. How about just showing me my playlists? Lunatic. Wait. Didn't even do it properly. Okay, I guess I have to go to my videos and then go to my playlist because YouTube is functional. Filter. Halo. Oh, it looks like I did 3 videos of SPV3. I'm pretty sure they're unlisted. I don't have very many recollections of this, to be honest. I think the first yeah, this is unlisted. The playlist itself is public, but yeah, I mean, just looking at this real quick, I'm well, there's a little bit of a forward in the video, but then around 3 minutes it begins. And that opening cutscene is pretty long, to be honest. Oh, I'm spinning my camera. Yeah, it still looks like it's generic cover stuff. I don't know, maybe my sense is pretty low in this one. So, oh yeah, they added brutes. I think I had some sensitivity problems. I'm not sure if I fixed that later on in the video. But yeah, I mean, it took me like maybe 45 minutes or something just to clear the first level. So, or 40 minutes to clear the first level, maybe. I think I'm probably playing on heroic, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, look at that sensitivity. Holy shit. I'm really fighting the mouse here. I don't know why I didn't just fix that. Maybe I couldn't or something. Yeah, you are right about that, though, James. Balathal's actually working on, I think, a Halo Reach mod. Obviously, you're still pretty hamstrung in terms of what you can even do for modding that game. It's not really possible to make like a really interesting co-op versus AI experience from what I can understand. I had a lot of problems synchronizing data when I was messing around with Halo Reach modding for Firefight, and even then it was like, so basically like weapons that I fire would behave completely differently than the same weapon fired by somebody else, or if they picked it up like before I or after I like pushed the changes or whatever. Insane shit. So yeah, it's pretty unfortunate, but it's something I've played around with in theory. Like I especially think the setting has a lot of potential. To be honest, it's probably like one of the last truly interesting video game sci-fi settings. Like in the same way that Starcraft has as an interesting sci-fi setting. And of course, I don't mean that they did very well with the actual expression of the writing. Like the execution was horrible for both of Starcraft and Halo. And obviously, there's a ton of copy pasting going on with like Flood, Gravemind. Well, gee, I wonder who they copy pasted the Gravemind from. Um, Stuff like that. Even so, though, the Covenant is kind of interesting because it's literally like a religious, like zealous order of what do you call it? Like a group of different alien species, all led by like some higher up species, right? And there's almost like a caste system that they have there, where it's like if you're species X or Y, you're different. Like there's a lot of potential with a setting like that. You can imagine in a, for example, an RTS setting as opposed to an FPS one. You could imagine like there would be maybe some uprisings sometimes if you made your individual races diverse enough to have their own factions or something, or maybe there'd be like elite sympathizers. All of their naming conventions are horrible. Obviously, they're like Prophet, Elite. They speak English, for example. There's a lot of goofy shit in there. But the OG Ghost Recon is the best single player FPS I ever made. I actually have not even bothered checking out any of those Tom Clancy games on my channel, so maybe I could mess around with that. Yeah, like Sangili, I think, is for Elite, and Jiralhane or something is brute. I don't know. I vague memories of the books. I can't believe I remembered Jiralhane, or I think that's it. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. But yeah, all of the names that the English names are all really stupid, right? I don't know what the rest of them were, but they're not even that bad. I mean, Jiralhane is pretty bad, but Sangili is not that bad. Oh, is wait, Sangili, or however you pronounce it. Oh, Sangili. Saurian species. I'm glad there's a Twitter account called Sexy Sangili. Reasonable. Hey, Balathal's made con langs before. We have a resident expert. Ungoy, by the way. Is that a cringe song, James Gilchrist? Are you sending me cringe? Wait, they look like fighter jets. I don't think I played Halo 5. I honestly, I always think of Halo 5 as a joke, like just the name, because there was an old Game Informer issue that where some guy who basically the gimmick of the guy was that um he lied about everything that he wrote. So his under his favorite games list, it was Halo 4 and 6, and then in parentheses 5 sucked. And ever since then, I've always thought Halo 5 is just like a joke name. Like surely nobody would ever just call it that. But I guess so. And then they went from 5 to infinity real quick. Apparently, there are no numbers between 5 and infinity. Oh, that's pretty epic. I mean, I know they had really top-heavy walkers, I think in Halo 4, where they like walk around and like the siege tank from Starcraft 2 every time they move. Apparently Titanfall didn't even have a single player. I didn't know that. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Halo Mantis. The Mantits. Hunting Yggdrasil Mark 9 Mantis. Yeah, look how top heavy this thing is. Also, the legs are super long. I don't think this would work, to be honest. Pretty psychotic. Imagine having to say both in canon and in gameplay, because like I'm sure there's some things that in canon don't exist in the gameplay, and maybe vice versa. Although no, I guess it must be canon if it's in gameplay. That's just so fucking weird. I just think that like walkers in general need to be designed in very specific ways visually, otherwise they always look super fucking goofy. And anytime you have something that just shakes and gyrates violently in its animations, you're fucked. It's over. It's over. Oh, okay. They just went revisionist on it. Maybe I can do like biocracy. You know, like technocracy, but maybe it could be biocracy. That's not really a nation name, though. Wuckers? Wait, what the fuck? But he's not. He's just a Sangheili with like. Isn't. I think the armor is like burnt into his skin or something? Or no, wait, what am I thinking of? No, they burn him with they brand him, and then yeah. Wait, Jesus. How can you be so lazy and like just that's like somebody drunkenly pushed a live version of their that's like an April Fool's joke or something. Surely. An out of season April Fool's joke. Still drawing a blank for this fucking group of futurists. We'll call them the Futurist Federation because that has F's. Yeah, that's pretty epic. Good to know. Yeah. Check out my factions. You guys get to read this while I get more water and use the bathroom. BRB. Oh shit, boys. We got fucking text. Okay, let me read. And Loris is considered to be a new subspecies. That is really goofy. Put gloss on every model. That's the AAA way now. Why did they do that with Cortana? I forgot about that. They like made it so that she had AI sickness or AI Cortana virus, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, she's back." Or at least that was Master Chief's intention, right? Was to get back with Cortana or something. Really psychotic. Oh, and now she's a villain, I guess. Prometheans are the fucking Forerunner like attack dogs or whatever, right? Is really really stupid. What's up, Walker? Yeah, well, what I meant by for the communication side of things, Wuck, is that I kind of am thinking that broadly speaking, they would have people who are hyper competent in their individual fields, not necessarily know much about the other people's fields. And while obviously communication is a key element of leadership, you might get a lot of misunderstanding as a result of people knowing what they need to do and what others need to do for them, but not necessarily knowing what would best serve everybody else. Like they don't necessarily have this collective not really vision. I'm trying to come up with like a word, but it's like there's not really a cohesive understanding of what will be like the compromise that fits both branches of government or both like the military and science or something like that. And really, at the end of the day, it'll just be like kind of whoever wins out in terms of getting favors and stuff like that. Yeah, so they're very much more about like the individual aspect of that. I think. What's up, Hoopy? Hooper? Yeah, yeah, but their idea of a team player is actually somebody who ends up getting most of the resources for his group. That's how you play the team well, if you know what I mean. I was also going to jump in here for what was I going to jump in here for? Oh yeah, in the current patch, I've got to add this fix. All right, push latest development work. I think while I wait for my, or while I eat my food, we can watch an AI match of all Zerg. Zerg here. Just fast forward a little bit. So that's death. Oh, geez. Might be over. Not this build might just be really fucked, to be honest. I don't really know. Oh, I think also we're getting pretty consistent builds out of these guys. I should test like random builds. I think what happened was that I wanted to test with... You know, what if we just delete these? Oh shit, we got Spire first over here, homies. Nice mix. So it looks like 4 are spawning pool, 2 are HYDRA den, 1 is Spire. So that's almost an even split. I do really like that you get to do stuff like this as Zerg now. You get to go some early shit. I don't know that this AI really leverages the early Spire particularly well, personally, but, you know. Ooh, fast third coming out from our Bloomin'. There we go. It got a early round of mutas coming out. Actually, HYDRA. HYDRA. We must destroy this specific structure. Oh, never mind. Spin! Oh, I'm actually seeing a Mutalisk Rush. That's certainly the first time that I've seen that, to be honest. Brutalized. Is red dead? Question mark? Ah. One Mutalisk down. Zerg here? I didn't say that, Balethal. Come on, calm down. Oh shit, we've got a hatchery, boy! We've got 5 hatch expo! What a lunatic this man is. Holy fuck, look at this guy. He must have been floating a ton of minerals for him to do that. That is crazy. Sorry. You don't know how to build on top of drones? What is going on? I guess we can switch over to my actual... this. I have to unmute my... Oop, that's not what I wanted to start. There we go. Flag 16. Speaking of Flag 16, where's this guy's drones, dude? Oh, he's got a ton of larvae now, so maybe that'll help. What do we got? Anything? Decent sized attack forces, honestly. Ah! You can't do that. Ah! Holy shit, he has defenders! Bonus 8! Holy fuck, I can't believe Red survived. Well, that's a strong word, I guess. He definitely needs more workers. Hi. Holy fuck. Wow, Blue's really gunning it for these expansions. I'm sure Red will eventually take this if he ever gets enough money. Oh no, he's going for this, I think. He might get away with it. Oh, no money. Zerg here. Do you guys like hatcheries? Got a lot of Maybe I should have a different way to check for larvae or whatever. There are a ton of blue units on the map, though, which is pretty nice. Since he has the most bases, he should definitely have the most stuff going on, so to speak. Putting this one up. Oh, yeah, now he's starting to slam down a lot of hatches as well. This guy's gonna run out of fucking control pretty soon. Double hydral den for this guy for some reason. Oh, triple. Well, so much for that, I guess. You have returned to see Zerg here. Yeah. I was expecting to see CCMU a lot sooner, to be honest, but... It's only been 11 minutes. Early days. There's only like 50 hatcheries on the map, so... I think that's like a pretty easy estimate, right? There's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for teal. Oh, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh, yeah, I guess just 23. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33. Red got hit early, so that's why he's only at 30. Only on a couple. 4, 5, 6, 7. 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. So unless any more went down while I was counting. Oh, 64. Yeah, I think just 64. Oh, no, that's a spawning pool. Yeah, 64 right now. Yeah, you don't normally see double-digit production structures for any race in any of the Blizzard campaign maps. Like, for individual players, I mean. Obviously, I think every AI, with the exception of Red, has double-digit right now. And Red has just been fucked, right? So. If only that Avaleth would actually get over here. It was idling close to the Lakizalisk, but obviously... neglected to actually do anything, so death. Oh shit. We got 65? Oh shit. Oh, I thought 3 of the that was 3 more hatcheries. 66. 67. About to be 68 over there. 69. We have at least 69 hatcheries on the field. Ooh, if these end up being defenses of any sort, that will definitely help Orange maintain a foothold here. I'm actually not sure who's going to crack this base open first, to be honest. We're going to need to see many more production structures. I just heard a Nidus. Campaign missions, you? What does that mean? Just like spams Marines at you? Oh, so to defend, it would build barracks, yeah. That's actually not a bad tactic if you have the money for it, obviously. I'm actually not sure what Red is doing. He's currently attacking, so he's getting something done, even though he's only building Zerglings and Hydras. He might be broken. Not sure. The Protoss music is just Warcraft 2. It's pretty sad that that's the case. Oh, we do have max tech over here. I am noticing that the production structure or the tech structure stuff, they'll get max tech, but they're not really that interested in achieving higher tech for their individual unit strains. It's probably down to the individual requests being fucked. And this mysterious bug where 1 million Droleths get trained at once, I'm really not sure why that happens. They certainly aren't supposed to be used for defense or anything, so I'm never like queuing relative to larva or anything. I don't know why. Something happens there where maybe it's an A's bug, maybe it's a vanilla bug, but they'll just throw a bunch of their spare larvae into workers that obviously can't be used for anything, really. Yeah, free-for-alls to me are like the big deal, to be honest. I definitely prefer free-for-alls to pretty much anything else. Or at least big team games, if it's like a 2v2 or something. I like team free-for-alls. So like 3v3s, 4v4s, or more. Imagine this AI building this many stuff in a Starcraft 2 map, though. You'd just like grind to a halt, probably. Wouldn't be able to play the game. Well, Red just lost a base. Still not enough money to get that one, I guess. Goofy. I'm not sure why they keep spinning their units over here. That seems a bit odd. Oh, actually, I wonder if we are at cannot create more U. No. What is this guy trying to do? He's got 1 million resources. He's not getting an attack orders. I really don't know what's going on here. He's trying to get larval colonies. I don't know if he has... idle creep colonies anywhere. I don't see any, so maybe that's the problem. Somehow he's got his larval and creep colony requests desync. And he's also got a Gezeth Roost request that's super low priority, as well as, I'm assuming, a Gorgrok Apiary, because he shouldn't have a Gezeth Roost request without a Gorgrok Apiary. Well, apparently he does. Prank. Alright, so that was a less than epic showing, but we're getting there. And that's the important thing. I think the issues with what you were talking about regarding FFA balancing are probably related to people's playstyles more than anything. Like, yeah, you can get cleaned out for quote unquote playing the game, but the dynamic just changes pretty significantly based on like the matchup, right? Like, if you knew that your opponent was nearby or could have, like, there was a credible threat of you being attacked, you wouldn't move your army out, and that's even true in a one-on-one. You would keep your army at in a position where it could defend. So if you just abstract that out to the nearby enemies that you have in a free-for-all, then you have an immediate way to counter that by playing somewhat conservatively if you are worried about getting attacked, or by getting more complete information so you can better prepare for such attacks, which would be like getting map control, setting up maybe patrol routes with some sort of scout unit or whatever. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it feels like people who dislike that sort of thing, it's probably more to the effect that they're just not particularly equipped, right, for the play style at hand. I think that's probably the main thing. Yeah, sometimes it's epic, and other times you get vote kicked. Air heavy is what I'm missing here. Oh wait, no, not. This is build pref Thor. So besides going through and making sure that all the priorities for structures in the build orders are higher than the priorities that are in the production blocks, I'm not really 100% sure how to make sure that the tech is correctly activated. That's probably my next move after I am finished filling these out for all of the different builds. We have bing, bing, bing. I think that's fine. All right, I'll just come back to that one and jump back up here. pretty annoying working with this system where the request recycler just flat out doesn't function correctly, which is why I'm having to deal with all these bugs and like manually maintain priorities in an area that just shouldn't be the case in most cases. Most things. See if I can find any additional 80s. Didn't see any additional 80s here. 80s. Sure, there's still some. There's like a Mutal Spire request. Ah, here we go. Ultra Cavern. Okay. These guys want to save as much gas as possible for Mutalisks specifically, so I'll go for hatchery for them. It's probably fine, to be honest. A lot of this is. Just change this to Nath to the core. The classic 9 pool strat. Okay, that works. Yeah, I wouldn't really change too much of this stuff, to be honest. I think that's like pretty good. It's kind of hard to tell them to go for, well, I guess not really, because I didn't tell them to go for anything else that's gas intensive, so it's probably fine for like a 2-hatch to favor lurkers or whatever, Lakizilisks. Yeah. Also Nather Core for this one. Ultra Core, HYDRA. I don't know. Just that. Special you. Thank you. All right. Done all that. Oops. All right, we should be good there. I don't think I missed anything, so I can probably jump in here. And, oop, that's not what I wanted. Let's try this. What's it open in? Oh, I'm opening in the editor. That would be why. Okay. Fire this test up. Zerg stress testing. Oh, I fucked up some value. So some typo on a variable call, probably. Oh, wait. It's this, isn't it? It's just a bunch of fucking variables lying in the middle of nowhere. That might cause some issues, guys. That was my reference sheet. That might not be the case, though. Not actually sure. Oh, yeah. So I guess what I can do now is jump into the exe and replace the plugin version with the debug release and see what call it is, just because it's faster than looking through every single thing that I did. Is logged. The last one was build pref swarm standard zergling. I don't know what that means. 0, 0, 0, 0. Yeah, I mean, that's right, so... Unless if I match backwards direction. No, that matches. I wonder why that would be a problem. It looks like somehow... Wait, what? Exactly call pref swarm standard 0. Build pref swarm standard zergling. Apparently this is a problem. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know why this would be a problem. Really confused by that one. Like the other variable calls are variable operator, variable name, or var operator, variable name, quantity, and then the block name, and then the player 13 checks out. So if it's exactly 0, call this block. We then call this block. And all it does is set a variable to 1 and then return. It appears to be breaking on the jump, I believe. Interesting. And by interesting, I mean infuriating. Oh, maybe this is the first call that's executed in general from here, because all these others are unrelated, but... it just gets the wrong call entirely, I'm pretty sure. There's definitely no ATK do source that checks for Zerglings. Just checks for that block anyway. Like, I don't know what this line is. I don't know what this line is. Like, none of these are related at all. Like, somehow this... I don't know. Build pref standard. Swarm standard. I guess I can replace this to be build pref swarm test. And we'll see if that shows up. I just don't understand why this is happening. Let me look at how I set this up for Terrans. Maybe that will give me some idea. Oh, that's why. Okay, now I understand. I was using the other formatting because I was just on autopilot, I guess. All right, we fixed that bug. That was stupid. Consumed like 10 minutes. Okay. Let's see if we get any improvement there. Fast forward for a while. Oh, we're on debug, so it's moving by really slowly. Just delete that. I was wondering why we were lagging. I was like, what did I do? And I remembered. Remembered all I needed to remember. Ah. Larval hive, by the way. Alright, well. Easy enough to fix. Goofy. Randomed into predominantly spawning pool this time around. Evacuate! Evacuate! Looks like he had defenders at the ready. And they lost a couple of drones then. He's getting gangbanged. Brutal. No support from his team, of course. He'll still drive them off eventually. Oh, but he lost his spawning pool. Oh, no. Oh, turn around. What a disaster. Used return without call. I don't actually know when what would be related to that. I guess maybe it could be some Jesus. Okay, well everything's been fucked, so that would be why there's some problems. Thought it was a little unlikely that that would happen. There we go. Spire into Iral Iris. That's a greedy fucking build. You'll love to see it. Brutal. Do they even have gas? Oh, they have been mining gas, so maybe. Every drone killed is pretty bad, to be honest. Wonder if I can update the anti-grief. I was thinking in here we could probably do... I was also thinking that instead of checking for the current player, it could also check for the player's allies, but I don't think there's like a player's force option or whatever, so... Oh shit, what's happening? See larval colonies. See lake is dead. I don't know about unit quantities yet. Well, we're only 7 minutes in, so maybe it's fine. Nice hatcheries. Oh, wait, I know why. The production block is fucked, I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait. No, prod success sets prod cycle to 1, doesn't it? And I have no idea, actually. It's not really fucked then, I suppose. It's just the weights are pretty low, right? So maybe we can raise those slightly. I'm definitely seeing a nice wide usage of a couple of different tech now. Different bits of tech here and there. Only one for Brown. Or where are his tech structures? Oh, no, they're just stacked up on top of each other, I guess. Oh shit, we've got a Vithril Haunt! That's actually pretty cool. Wasn't expecting that one. They're here. I think you might have enough hatcheries, dude. Jesus. Imagine walking into this base. Like never scouting this player before, and you just walk in here and you see him have like a million hatches. Why is he so dumb? He has Lachesis. It's literally right there. Yeah, this is a much better look overall, though. We're going into Calcath Bloom. We got Matroleths out. Oh, Zerg here. Dude, he's trying to wall his ramp off. That's pretty neat. Unexpected. This whole army can get on top over here. We might have some actual action happen. At least a couple Sunkens will go down off the back of this, I think. Oh, there's a huge orange army coming in for backup as well. But I don't know if they're going to get here in time and mass up. Doesn't look like it. There are Zerg here, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Zerg here. Especially Brown. Holy fuck. He's finally stopped spending every little fucking bit of money he had on... Oh, that's a prank. I wonder how I managed to fuck that one up. Okay. That should fix mining issues in general. What do we got for units here? I'm hoping that my new attack code worked out okay overall. Oh, just caught him spamming drones like an idiot. That's a really weird bug, man. I don't know why that happens. Reasonable. All right, we got Bactylisks. I'm not seeing Calcalisks, despite the... I think we have multiple Calcath blooms right now. I didn't really see any Vithralisks either. But this guy's not really building Mutalisks, I'm noticing. I think a portion of this is due to the fact that the AI attack limit is still 63. That probably has a part to play in this. Whatever this build is, it is not interested in teching up ever, and I don't know why. I'm not actually sure if Brown has an attack force, to be honest. What does he got? Hatchery, spawning pool, colony. What's his main thing? It's just hatchery. He wants a spawning pool, a Quetzalcoatl, a Bactyl Den, which he could get. I don't know what's wrong with him. He seems to be stuck. Though maybe this has something to do with... I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't imagine his workers are so fucked that, like, if they can't reach a mineral field, they just don't work. But maybe it has something... This AI specifically has bugged out in the late game pretty frequently, so maybe it's some absurd worker issue. All right, we'll just go ahead and save this. And okay, I should be able to push this version to the aforementioned special bus. But it might also be that that's like the one build that has some obscure amount of like... Yeah, there's like some shit in here like that, but... I guess it's like this, 95. This should always be 50 now, and just go from there, I guess. Make sure I didn't miss any 80s. Doesn't look like it. Okay, I'll let them know a new version's up, because it is. All right. Pretty reasonable progress, I think. Managed to get quite a bit of work done in the last 3 hours or so. So yeah, I think I'll take a little bit of a break before I do some more work off stream and then go to bed. We didn't really get that much concept work done. I mean, we made those polls. I guess we can check in on those towards the end of the stream now. Ah, this is getting closer. And this is very close. And this is still pretty obvious so far. Check it out. Yeah, check out those polls if you missed them earlier. We're renaming Refinery and Assimilator. And deciding the fate of Zerg buildings. Yeah, I think overall, though, pretty nice work, IMO. Quite happy with how this all worked out and went together. And we're just that much closer, right? Now I can, in theory, mirror the tech system that I developed off stream between the two streams. I can mirror that for Protoss. I can actually plug everything in for Protoss, and then we would probably have everything set up. Of course, individual Zerg builds should still be iterated on. Actually, I still have to do that for Terrans to make sure that every single build is audited. So I'm going to have to do that for Protoss as well. And aside from that, I'm also going to want to, just in general, make sure that the Zerg are in a good spot, that the Terrans are in a good spot, and the Protoss are in a good spot, like independently of one another. But I think Protoss are in an okay state. They should be competitive with the new Terran and new Zerg. So even if I don't get to them by the time the next Fraudcraft hits, we should still be in some position to do some good work, I think. So I'll leave it at that for now. We're going to chill out, and I'll probably work on some video concepts or whatever so that I can get some more videos out. Thanks, everybody who tuned in today. Thank you, Loller Skates, for hanging out in the chat. Balethal for hanging out in the chat. Shocks for walking in the chat. And then I think Veek was in here earlier. Thanks to him. Thanks to Kian and Folka for playing some HYDRA earlier today, as well as Veeker. And yeah, bye. Oh, thanks to James Gilchrist for also being in the chat. Bye.